Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Marissa Bell. I do a little bit of everything here: travel vlogs, theme park vlogs, trips with my family, Black-owned brands, books, just a little bit of everything. But if you are not new here, welcome back. This video is going to be about the women's NCAA Final Four. It was here in Tampa. We are the only city to have had hosted the NCAA Women's Final Four 4 times. I whipped out my basketball Mickey ears for this video. These are one of my prized possession ears. I'm actually planning on painting these for the Chicago sky. I kind of want to put some, I don't know, Posca paint or something. I don't know. I'm going to zhuzh them up a little bit. I played basketball from 5th grade until about 11th grade. And then when I became a teacher, I coached middle school basketball for 2 years. So I know a thing or two about basketball. It is one of the joys that I have with my husband. We started dating. We both loved the Miami Heat. During the time when we were dating was Bosh, Wade, LeBron. So it was very much a part of our love story, basketball and sports in general. We both grew up really, really loving sports. So being able to go out to the NCAA championship with our family was a very fun weekend. Tampa doesn't really get a lot of events. And I don't know why we get skipped. People go to Orlando and Miami a lot. And I think as Tampa has grown, it's starting to be more glaringly obvious that people need to come to Tampa. And there's so many great places to host activations here. Curtis Hickson Park, St. Petersburg is a really amazing place to hold events, especially if you're going to do like a book event. I'm dying for the day when people realize that St. Petersburg needs a book event. We have one, but I'm talking about like a more diverse, huge book event here in Tampa Bay. It's going to be amazing. And we recently got the Steamy Look bookstore here in Tampa, so I feel like it's coming. As I mentioned before, Tampa is the only place to have hosted the women's NCAA Final Four 4 times. I was actually here for 2 out of those 4 times, but the last time that we had the NCAA in Tampa, I was in college. And when I was in college, I was going for anesthesiology. So I've had very little free time. Now, if you come to Tampa, one of the things that I think a lot of people skip, which you should not skip, is the trolley. Now, there's no air conditioning on the trolley, so be prepared for that. However, it is a good experience. If you want to get to downtown Tampa, I would park in Ybor and take the trolley to downtown Tampa. That is the way us locals do it when we want to go to a Lightning game, when we want to go to Sparkman, when we want to do anything that is going to be downtown or by the Riverwalk, take the trolley. That is what we did for the NCAA tournament. We took the trolley down to Sparkman Wharf and then we walked into Tourney Town. So Tourney Town was at the convention center, and it was basically an area where you can go in, you could play games, you can buy merch, you can customize your ball. They had an artist setup station. They had an area where you can learn more about the history of basketball. They had a whole bunch of fun things on the inside, and then outside of it, they had 3-on-3 basketball and like a shoot around court. Now, while there were some upgrades that you could have paid for inside the convention center, a lot of stuff inside the convention center was also free. While we were in there, we actually saw Lisa Leslie when she was on stage for CBS Sports. That was one of the coolest experiences because I grew up with Lisa Leslie being the women's basketball star. She was on Moesha. She was the one that everybody was looking at. Her and Candace Parker. Did that for a little while, and then we went over to Super Practice. Super Practice is also free. The only thing that you have to do for Super Practice is make sure you reserve a ticket. Now, I reserved me and my son's ticket at a different time than Kevin and Angelina did because we didn't think that they were going to be here that weekend. So it was only going to be me and Ty. I was kind of worried about that because I didn't think we were going to be able to sit together, but that was not the case. It's actually open seating. When you buy your ticket, it makes it seem like it's not open seating, but it was open seating. So we reserved our tickets and then we went into the Emily Arena and then we sat very close to the court. I mean, we saw everybody up close and personal inside of super practice. And I kind of had to guess which team I thought was going to be there first because I didn't want to stay there for the whole 2 hours. I wanted to see South Carolina very specifically. So I was glad that they were the first team that came out onto the court. And then after we were done inside of super practice, across the street, they had Party on the Plaza. Now, Party on the Plaza was not my favorite thing that they had going on during the NCAA Final Four. I think that's probably really dependent on who's out there and if they're doing a concert or if it's full of people or it's not full of people. I will say that while it wasn't my favorite thing to do, it was the easiest to get into all the activations. So we went into the Marriott area and we were able to get like shoe charms. You can get your shoes clean, no line. I did the dunk, which was fun too. There was no line for that. I played all the games. So it was a fun experience of things, but it just seemed like it was so dead over there. I don't know. It had all the things, but there was like no people. It wasn't lively. Like I wish there was music or something on over there. I don't know. But I think that we just got there at the wrong time. But overall, I had a fantastic time. The only thing that I wish that we would have done is buy tickets. It just wasn't in the cards this time. We didn't have it in the budget to buy tickets for the 4 of us. But if it ever comes to Tampa again for the 5th time, or anywhere close, honestly, if it goes to Orlando or Miami, those places are not far enough away from me for me not to go. Which, you know what? Thinking about it, is that why they don't do activations here in Tampa? Because a Tampa girl will drive to Orlando and Miami. You know what? They might be cooking with that one, but still, I'm gonna need them to come here and show Tampa some respect. But anyway, if the NCAA Women's Tournament ever does come back down my way, I will definitely be buying tickets. I'm really hoping that since people are getting more involved in women's sports, that we will get a women's basketball team here in Florida. I would love that. I would love that. I am not an Orlando Magic girly. I'm sorry. And it's always been their court for me. Like, cause Shaq was here. You guys remember that? Shaq was here. And when Shaq was in Orlando, I still didn't want to go to Orlando. I still didn't want to go there because the court just bothers me. I don't like it there. And I'm a Miami Heat fan, so that might have something to do with it too. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I will catch you guys next time.